Welcome one, welcome all back to the Service Providers in Business to Succeed show. It's been a stormy couple of days here in the UK, but we're back. We hope to normal with a few streaming issues, but we're going to have a show tonight. Tonight on our show, we have not only Garfield Robinson from Jamaica Heritage Books, but we also have Anastasia Elliott. She was here with us in December, and she's here with us again in February to tell us a little bit about what the journey has been like for her over the last couple of years and years. She reached her first anniversary with a shopped front. Camilla, our club secretary, you may know her. If you don't, get to know her in BCI All Access. And Carla is coming in from St. Kitts alongside Anastasia. We also have Mayona Campbell from Jamaica. She's our executive assistant of BCI. Paula's coming in from the island of Nevis, and she's coming in from Tropical Cleaners. She's going to talk to you about what she does over there. A fabulous job for a lot of property developers in cleaning both houses and homes and properties. Thea Barrett, you may know her because she's the one that invited you here tonight. And she's here to represent the outreach department of BCI. And we have our chief executive who's going to do our pitch for tonight, followed by Ricardo Williams from Canada, who's going to tell us a little bit more about his business opportunity alongside Paula. So without further ado, BCI is here to help you. And so one of the things I want to bear in mind is that everybody is unique. Everybody has a service. So do BCI. But we have to have a disclaimer. And so the disclaimer is about to go up just to explain to you, just a minute, just reading it, just to let you know what we are here to do and what we hope that you will actually gain from the service providers on our platform. After that, it will be followed by our pitch, our spoken word by our chief executive, BCI chief executive. One moment.
Blessed Community International is a nonprofit organization which seeks to bring together a global community of leaders and professionals through our unique, collaborative, values-based model, which entails social, spiritual, professional, and developmental aspects. In our world today, social and economic problems are growing more complex. Understanding the common need for support to improve individuals, families, and communities, BCI provides expertise through leadership training, program planning, access to funding, and other resources towards creating innovative solutions. Being a member means something different to everyone, yet we are one people, many blessings, and we look forward to serving and welcoming you.
Thank you, Tessa. Without further ado, then, I'd like to introduce Garfield Robinson. Garfield's coming in to us from Jamaica Heritage Books, and I don't want to speak for Garfield because he can do it all by himself. Over to you, Garfield. You'll need to unmute. Unmute.
Oh, did I do that? All right. So, yeah, thanks very much, Priscilla, for your introduction. Just getting my screen up. Yeah, can everybody see my screen now? Can anyone see my screen?
Yeah, I can see your screen.
Okay, you can see my screen. Yeah. Okay,
I can see you, but I can't. I can see you, but I can't see your shared screen. So yeah.
You can't see my shared screen. Hold on.
No.
1 second. One minute. 1 minute.
That's right. I can see you, not your shared screen.
Hold on, let me go back now. Come on.
That's fine. That's good.
Okay, we have it now, right?
Yes, that's fine.
Okay. Thanks very much, Priscilla, for inviting me to Blessed Community International. Priscilla, we met Priscilla go from quite a few years ago, where she was a service provider, and we worked together. And last thing I expected was that many years later. But you see, if you work good with people, you will always come in contact with them again, and it will be a happy renewal, you know. So I'm really happy to connect with Priscilla again, and to see what I can bring to this community. For my 10 quick minutes on promoting our heritage, I'm talking about Black Caribbean books. And I'm going to quickly give an idea of how I got into books, right? And then I guess at the end you'll have questions and so forth. So when we started out in 2002, which makes us this year, my book business is going to be 20 years old, right? So when we started out on this logo here was actually created by a friend of mine who we always work together, and he said, I mean, you're going out to the business, you need a logo. So I gave him an idea. I sketched it on a napkin like they do, and and I showed it to him, and he said, yeah, I can make that. And this is what he came up with, which is we were actually trying to do something using Jamaican colors. The sun is shining, and the greenness of the land and the hardships that we have to overcome. So that's where promoting our heritage logo is coming from, the black, green, and gold. Right. So like I said, we are going 20 years now this year. So it all started, and I've had a subtitle, How I Became a Bookseller in 2002, the United Kingdom. Right. So it's I mean, coming here in 2001 and then a year later starting a business, I mean, I want to thank everybody who has been supporting me and been with me on this journey. So the early background, though, is that living in Jamaica, I've always been involved in some sort of selling, right? And I must say I started at the feet of my grandmother, you know, because I was in a session one time and people were saying, you know, who was their mentor and so forth. I'm saying, wait, but my grandmother, I learned, you know, all the basics of selling from her. So, I mean, she would say, you can't buy 9 and sell 9, you know. We say now in our language, oh, it's you must have a profit motive, which is what she was, you know, saying. And not only did I spend time with her in the grocery shop, you know, selling goods and, you know, so forth, but I also made my own things. So between grandma and mommy, my mom used to bake wedding cakes and so forth. Christmas time, she would bake for, everybody around the district that was interested and further afield. And they taught me to make gizadas. Those of you who know what a gizada is. And they also taught me to make things like torta. So a torta, it's not a cake and it's not a bread, it's in between. So we call it a poor man's cake, because after you do your Sunday rice and peas and you squeeze up your coconut milk and all, we don't throw away the coconut trash. We use it to put with flour and maybe egg, but not necessarily your baking soda, not baking powder. And you add your spices, your nutmeg and your vanilla and all of that, and you make a nice little torta, right? And then I would sell that on a Saturday night in our shop. So that's my early. I mean, I was like early teenager. So that's how long I've been selling. Then from my dad as well, I would learn carpentry, but not the whole carpentry, but more how to make picture frames. And anybody who was getting married in the community or graduating, I would frame their certificates or photograph for them. Then from that, I went on to a little bit of wood carving. My first introduction to multi-level marketing was selling Stanley Home products, which I did for a short while. And then after all of that, I became a teacher, selling knowledge to children. I also had a stint in life insurance and also sold auto parts. And then I got into media sales. Right. So in 2001, I relocated from Jamaica after working at the Gleaner to live in England, because my wife had been recruited to teach in England. So I came along as well. And this is where the Promoting Our Heritage store really starts, because one of her colleagues asked her to ask me if I could find any Jamaican cultural material, because this teacher felt, and I can call her name, Dawn Darby, wherever you are, she felt that she was learning the British heritage from teaching the British children, heritage and culture, and she wanted to turn thanks and give them a bit of the Jamaican heritage and culture. So I was able to find her some Miss Lou stuff, and Louise Bennett, our greatest folklorist that Jamaica has ever produced. And from that, when I go to school in the morning to drop off our son, I would ask the parents, if anybody's interested in this, I'm doing a little bit of that and so forth, and people would be interested. And it was in October 2002 now, officially, I saw an event in Brixton, which is like, the Black cultural capital of London. And I put a few things together, and the picture you're looking at there is actually our first table. That's my wife sitting at the table there. The first time we went out to sell, first week of October, Black History Month in 2002. So interesting thing is that we're still trying to find out what was happening and what was the need from our prospective consumers, our customers. And we left that event with an A4 list of what we call lost sales. So these are things that if you had them, you'd have sold them at the time. So I took like numbers and email address and all kind of things and went hunting for these things. And we were able to, fill the orders. And then we started to look at other events. So while I grew the business, it was based on what people were asking for. It's not just what I, thought of, people might be interested in. Okay, so this is where we are now. 20 years later, we carry Jamaican books. We carry books from all over the Caribbean. We carry books from African authors, Ghana, Nigeria, Gambia, different places around Africa. We also carry a lot of health books, which are neither African or Caribbean or American, because based on the places that we have been, over the time. And this was a display we had at one of the busiest places that we have always been, which is the Afro Hair and Beauty Show in London, which is actually coming back this year after a 2-year absence. And it's going to be the 2nd and 3rd of June, which is part of the new bank holiday on account of the Queen's Platinum Jubilee. The 2nd May bank holiday has been moved. Right? So this is a snapshot into, you know, Caribbean books. I do a lot of work with authors. In fact, if we had time, and, you know, maybe I'll come back if you invite me. Most events I go to now, it's not just the books alone. I have an author there doing book signing. And I'm also constantly reaching out to authors, help them promote their books, because what you find with some authors is that they are great at writing. You lock them up for a year and they'll write 100 books. But if you put them out in front of the public, they are, you know, a bit shy. And, you know, so I help the authors as well to get their books sold. And I have to be grateful to them, because without authors, I wouldn't have been able to do, you know, what I'm doing. So quickly, if anybody wants to keep in touch with me or make contact, the quickest way to get me is on Linktree, which is linktr.ee/promoting our heritage. And I'm also on Instagram as Promoting Our Heritage, on Facebook as well as LinkedIn. So that's my quick presentation. And if I have time for any questions, I can, you know, maybe take a question or two. Are you there, Priscilla?
We're just wondering, Garfield. Yes, I am. Just wondering,
you got everything,
Garfield,
right?
just a question to ask. You mentioned, yes, we did. Thank you.
Okay,
you mentioned the Afro-Caribbean show. It certainly sounds like it's a place that we all need to be at. When did you say that was?
Yes, the Afro Hair show is the 2nd and 3rd of June this year.
Okay.
So if it's somewhere you want to be, I can hook you up with the organizers and so, because I'm presently finalizing my calendar for 2022, my 20th year in business. So I'll be looking to go to quite a few events all over the UK. And I have sold books in South Wales, but I've never sold books in Scotland. So Scotland is on my radar as well. So the information I have, I'm happy to share it with you as to the places where I think Blessed Community can penetrate and, you know, help you to make the difference that you're trying to make.
Indeed, that's wonderful. I think the one question that we would ask, you know, being in business for 20 years, I mean, that's just awesome. It's so hard, you know, for a lot of startups just to keep going. So I was just wondering if I could ask you a question in relation to the challenges. You know, what sort of challenges did you have over that time, and how did you overcome them? I think that would probably be the question that we would like to ask.
Okay, so yeah, there's always challenges, and I mean, you have to overcome them to make your business more sustainable, right? So at first, I didn't know where to go. You know, some of the places to go to be able to sell your goods, and I overcame that by, you know, speaking with my customers, speaking with the people who I'm thinking would be like my stakeholders. They're interested in what I'm doing, they're liking what I'm doing, and they want to see me be successful at it. So have a little conversation with them. And most time people are happy to, you know, help you if they see you pushing out and trying to get that. They'll definitely, you know, look to help you. One challenge to give you a very good example now. So when I started out, I didn't have a car, right? Because I didn't come to England to start a business to buy a car to get me up and down. I mean, maybe that would happen eventually. So I actually found one taxi driver. It's a gentleman. He would be like my he'd be like maybe older than my dad, maybe my grandfather. And he took a liking to what I was doing, right? So based on where I needed to go, I would call him and say, I need to go here, I need to go there. And one day he turned around and he looked at me and he said, Garfield, I know what you're doing, but you can't, while I want the money, you can't take taxi to go everywhere with this business, right? So I want you to put some money together and we're going to find you a little car. That's what he said. And within, I would say, over the next 2 months, because I was actually throwing a partner that time. So when I got my first partner draw, I didn't go to the bank to borrow no money. I got my first partner draw, and then I had a second partner draw. So I put on the first one, I'll wait on the second one. And I called him and said, Mr. Abraham, I have some money now. Can we go and look a car? And he said, okay, the best cars, the people who service their car most in London are people who live in West London. So that's where we're going to go to look a car for you. So I would look on the internet and all of that and find them, and then he'd go with me to look at them and test drive them, because he's been driving cars a long, long time than me. So he would know, what's a good car. So it's challenges are overcome by many times the people you meet on your way who are trying to help you to achieve what you're doing.
That's right.
I hope that is a helpful answer.
Yes, absolutely. So in essence, it's about linking with like-minded individuals who want to see you succeed.
Yes.
And want to see you do well. And that's what Be Blessed Community International is all about. It's linking like-minded people, like-minded entrepreneurs, small startups, business to push you forward and to actually sort of connect you with people who can do just that. Thank you so much, Garfield Robinson. We appreciate what you've been doing, how you've been doing it, and the advice that you've given. And we're going to hear more from Garfield a little later.
You're welcome.
Yeah, we're going to hear more from you in a moment. But just before we move on, I want to introduce Ricardo Williams. Ricardo has a business opportunity, and I'm about to actually play the presentation. And then, if you'd like to speak before Ricardo, I could do that. What would you prefer?
Actually, I'll speak before you start the presentation, please.
That's fine. You go right ahead, Ricardo. That's fine, and I'll play the presentation for you.
Hey, everyone. Thank you for inviting me once again on this business opportunity. My name is Ricardo Williams. I live in Toronto, Canada, Ontario. I am a truck driver. I ask that you please take a few minutes to be open-minded, and if you're looking for a business to do from home, the business that I'm presenting to you is the opportunity that you can do from home at your own time, and you set your own rules. So please take a few minutes and watch this video. Thank you.
What legacy am I leaving behind? Thousands of words have been written about the meaning of life, the universe, the beyond, about souls and the impact on them. But no matter whether you believe or not, whether you are a spiritual person or not, there is one absolute truth in which all beliefs coincide. Every single one of your actions has consequences. Even if you are a non-believer, your actions still have the same consequences. Even if you lose all your faith at this point, even if you decide that the very existence of the universe makes no sense to you, and you feel lost in the chaos, your actions still matter. They continue to create consequences. They continue to impact people in one way or another. And the impact can be small, or it can be an undeniable mark. Eternal. Whatever you do, what you are doing right now, everything counts. But what counts exactly? The day you leave this world, this hard world, Will your family gather to mourn your departure and celebrate your life? Will your friends talk about the advice you gave, the good times you shared? If you could be present at your own funeral, what would you hear from them? What would they say about you? It sounds like a sad story, but in reality, it is one of the most powerful exercises that each and every one of us can do. Imagine the legacy you want to leave behind you, the memory you want to leave your children and grandchildren, the impact you want to make on the world. Live faithfully to that legacy. Sow joy. Work on kindness. Be a helping hand when needed. Take care of your principles and never, ever betray your values. Those values that define you and make you great. That's the key. Always be the person you already are, but empower the best in yourself every day. You don't compete with anyone. You only compete with yourself. And remember that your existence leaves a mark. Your actions, your decisions, every word you dedicate to another person, every action has a reaction. Avoiding leaving a mark, but you certainly don't want to leave a wrong mark behind you. If the only thing that matters is what we make happen, then you'd better do your best. Within you, there is a seed of greatness. Find it, let it blossom. Water it every day with good thoughts, with generous actions, with compassion towards others. You can create real magic, step by step, day by day, action by action, person by person, and make that magic part of the lives of the next generations. That's why it's so important to be fully aware of this, to understand that your place in the world is decided by you, and to ask yourself the most important question of all: what impact will I make on the lives of others? What legacy will I leave behind?
Back to you, Ricardo.
Yeah, actually, it looks like we had some technical
Just to give people your
difficulties.
contact details.
Okay.
Okay.
My information, you can find that on the BCI website. You can contact me through w.ricardo@ymail.com. Did you get that, Priscilla?
Yes, I did. Thank you very much, Ricardo. And you can also see Ricardo's profile if you go into BCI All Access and just search for Ricardo Williams. He gives a full breakdown of the business opportunity, and he also tells you how to get in touch with him. So please do reach out, and certainly looking for Success Factory to broaden its wings here in the UK. And Ricky is here, or so if you're interested in that business opportunity, please reach out to Ricardo so he can tell you more about it. Thank you very much for coming on the show tonight, Ricardo.
And thank you guys for having me once again. It's a pleasure.
That's great. Okay, we're going back to Garfield, and he's going to be wearing a different hat this time. Garfield actually works for The Voice newspaper. Now, for those who may or may not know The Voice newspaper, it is one of the leading Black newspapers in the UK. It is most popular. It's the newspaper that you would go to as you would any other newspaper like the Evening Standard, but you would go to the Evening Standard or even the Telegraph. For the Black community or the interracial community, The Voice newspaper is what you look to learn about what our people are doing in the community, how they're progressing, how they're getting on. And it was such a pleasure to find out after some years of not being in touch with Garfield to just discover that he was working for the Voice newspaper and also had contacts with the Gleaner. That's how we connect here on BCI. It's a small world after all. And when I got back in touch with Garfield, he immediately was on form, ready to help, ready to actually sort of assist us in whatever way. And so we're so glad once again to have him on board within the advertising and marketing department at the Voice newspaper. So tonight he's going to give us some tips about how to, as a startup, get yourself out there, and what some of the things that you need to consider when it comes to online marketing and reaching out in whatever business field that you're in. So over to you again, Garfield, for your presentation of 15 minutes.
Thanks again, Priscilla. Let me just get this. Come on. Come on. Everybody have that now? Hello, everybody again?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, that's fine.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me twice. All right. Okay, so like I said, I was really happy to reconnect with Priscilla after all these years. And I'm sure she was saying, oh, I'm still at The Voice. Yes, so I'm at The Voice now. So I've been working at The Voice now for 18 years. So the Voice newspaper in 2004 was bought by the Gleaner out of Jamaica. So the Gleaner with RJR got together and bought The Voice. But more recently now, 4 years ago, the Voice newspaper is in the Jamaica National Group of Companies, while the Gleaner and the RJR now have the RJR Gleaner Group. So there's a little bit of changing around, but I mean, I'm still here and we all still work together, Gleaner working together with Jamaica National and The Voice, right? So what I've put together today is a little synopsis, because these matters need time to get into. And it's a little synopsis for marketing your small business, right? Because we don't have the billions of pounds that the bigger companies have. So we have to look at how to use maybe some of the techniques or the technology they use, but in a smaller way to get our company to grow to, I mean, sometimes be maybe as big as they are, but you know, we have to start at the start. So just to run through quickly a few little terms, I mean, advertising, you know, we kind of know what that is. You're trying to present or promote ideas, goods, you know, by an identified sponsor. So you have your business and you want more people to know about it, so you advertise it. And this can take many forms, but I'm going to get down into the online and social media bit. I mean, personal selling. I mean, I started out in the UK by what we call cold calling. So when my boss said, so I said, where do I find the people to, you know, that time I started with Gleaner alone, the UK Gleaner. He said, oh, you have to go to Brixton and Peckham. So that's what I did. No phone, you know, on my foot or on the bus that time. And I'd go to Brixton and Peckham and just talk to people, cold calling them, turning up without an appointment, which is, you know, it's a good way to get your feet under the table. All right, so I won't bore you with any more of that. Sales promotion, public relations. Okay, so this is a bit of what we call the promotional mix, where, I mean, you're advertising because you're looking to sell your product or service, and it can be direct to the audience, or it can be sales promotions by a different company, or it can be like through a public relations firm. So these are some of the different ways that you get your message, you know, out to your prospective buying public. All right. So this is where we want to get to now. Marketing your small business. This is an online overview. And when we look at that image there on the left, what we see jumping out is social media. So social media now is one of the biggest ways to reach your audience, and social kind of speaks to maybe a little bit more friendly way of selling, because it's felt in some circles that advertising can be a hard, cold, unfriendly thing, you know, to try to get somebody to buy your product. There's no emotion, there's no nothing. They just give you the money, you give them the goods, and both of you go on your way. So social media is trying to make it a little bit more friendly. And there are different ways, you know, different aspects of social media, different bits to do with online marketing. So there's search engine optimization, which speaks to when you're putting up your message on whichever platform, but also specifically maybe your own website, you are trying to think of the terms that the prospective buyer would use to search for your product or to find your website, right? And those terms are picked up by the search engine. So nowadays, the Google search engine is so big and so well known that people say they're going to Google it. They're actually going to search for it using Google. There's other ones too. There's Bing. There's so many of them, but you know, the Google one has been able to become very, very famous, if you want to use that term. So search engine optimization, you're thinking out, you know, so I'm going to sell that. What are people going to be searching for to find me? And that's your search engine optimization. Okay, pay-per-click advertising. A good example of pay-per-click advertising is even on the same Google, you can use Google Adverts. But what you're doing now is that you still have to think about the words they're going to search for, but you're also putting up a bit of a budget now. So this is payment now. So you're paying and you say, okay, so over the next 10 days, I'm going to spend £30 and I want this system to use £3 a day. And I want to find, depending on what you're selling, I want to find, say I'm selling hair, I'm selling hair extensions. I want to find women between the age of 25 to 45 who live within 50 miles of London, who are looking for hair extensions and are willing to pay between, I don't know, between 15 to 30 pounds. So you'd put up your campaign and everything and put your money, and then the system now will be there monitoring it. And each time somebody search using those kind of variables, it would show your advert to them and it would subtract a little bit of your money. So that's roughly pay-per-click advertising. Content marketing, a little bit similar, but a little bit different, where you're looking at different forms of content. A good example of content marketing is YouTube, right? So we're actually live on YouTube now. And with YouTube now, you are putting up a certain amount of content, which is your video, but you also have to describe the video when it's going up or when you're going to put it up to say what is in the video. So when people come on YouTube to search for, you know, discussion with business advice and so forth, they will be able to find Blessed Community International, because we had described the video in the thing so that the search terms would pick it up. And that's an example of content marketing. Quickly, I won't go through all of them. Influencer marketing is, there are a lot of people who are like experts on this social media thing and they become influencers. And we can hire them to do a campaign about our business to reach, many times they have large followings. So we are looking to reach, and we would look at them to see if they are promoting the, you know, the kind of thing that we are trying to get sold. So we could use that influencer to market, our product to the audience. And I'm going through quickly because I want to get to an example using how the voice would, handle your campaign. Another one is affiliate marketing, where you might see, let's say, a burger company, a big burger company working with a big soft drink company. So for example, for small businesses, let's say you do children's clothes or babies' clothes. You might look to collaborate with a company, another small business that does maybe baby food, because you would have a similar audience where the mom or the dad or the parents who are going to buy baby clothes, they would also have to buy food for the baby. So you could maybe plan a joint campaign to show that both your brands are affiliated to get that bit in affiliate marketing. Quickly on now. So what I've done now, these now are the more familiar bits that we take out of the online and social media space. And I don't have to tell you what Facebook is. Facebook, a lot of pictures. Twitter, you have your various characters that you have to work with. Instagram can carry live videos like Facebook. You can serve your videos on Twitter. We just spoke about YouTube, LinkedIn, Snapchat, Pinterest. Okay, so one of the challenges that you face as a small business is that you're not gonna do all of them like expertly well, right? But you have to pick some of them and understand how they work, and then try to use them as best as possible, right? So like, for example, what we're doing now is our campaign is going out. We're using Zoom, but we're also going out live on YouTube. So we are using more than one platform at the same time to get our message out, right? Trying to get to an example. Okay, so quickly now onto the voice, how we work with small businesses. So the voice was started in 1982, and the gentleman who started it was actually working at a newspaper, but it wasn't really a newspaper for the Black community, right? So he was saying, our people have no voice, and here I am working at a newspaper that's not, taking care of the Black community. So he left, got himself organized, pulled some other businessmen together. They got a loan of, not a grant, a loan of like £60,000 from Barclays, which has been repaid, right? And they set up the Voice newspaper. First place was the Notting Hill Carnival in 1982, which makes the Voice 40 years this August, right? And the USP of the Voice is to deliver the news from a Black perspective. And the Voice is read across the newspaper. There's a Voice website, there's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube. So the Voice is using the print channels and online channels, but also the social channels as well. The thing for the small business in this is that if you are a Black-owned business, right, your natural market or the first set of people that you try to sell to would be your Black community, right? And seeing that the Voice specializes in that over the past 39 and a half years, the Voice would be one of your go-to channels to get your word out regarding your business offering to the community. And I'll let you in on a little, it's not really a secret, it's not everything that you promote with the Voice has to be paid for. And let me clarify that, right? If you're doing a straight advert, let's say you're doing an advert which you have designed up and everything, definitely that's something that you pay for. If you have a story which you feel is of newsworthy story, what we normally say, and I'm not really talking myself out of a job, what we normally say is that you try to get the attention of the editors to see if that's something that they're working on, and if they might make use of the story in maybe something that they're curating, right? So they're always on the hunt for news items, right? But it's the adverts that really pay all the bills and everything. So there's always, you always have a challenge of trying to have a good relationship with a media outlet, so that whether you have an advert or it's a news story, you have that relationship with the news media. And the print bit, so there's a print bits, which the newspaper actually changed from weekly to monthly in 2019. So it's a monthly offering for the newspaper, and it's still in the same channels. It goes UK-wide through the top 5 supermarkets and the main stationery chain, right, in the UK. And then the paper, in fact, the news is also delivered via the online channels, the Voice website and the Voice, the Facebook channel, the Twitter channel, and the Instagram is used mostly to deliver the headlines. And I've given you some stats there. The amount of Facebook users, Twitter users, Instagram users, and the social media channels. Okay, this is a key bit now for you as a small business. So while you're looking to use the different channels, and you're definitely looking to use social media, you also want to know if the audience that the media house represents, and when I say media house, yes, the Voice is the main one going to the Black community, but you might also want to widen your offering of what you're selling, whether your goods or service. So the audience, it's mostly female. You find that female 55% to male 40%. And this is like an average, because it's not like if there was 100 people, 49 to 51. Sometimes it goes both ways, but over time, it's mostly a female audience. Then we have sections of the audience. Now you have a young audience bit, which is 18 to 24, and bigger audience, 25 to 35. So it all depends on, the relevance of your product and which bit of the audience you're pitching it to. And the London and Southeast bit relates to the paper, but it also relates to the website and the social media, because a lot of people settle in London, in Birmingham, and the big conurbations, but they move out and filter out. And one of the things that led us to do is that even though the paper is sold physically, you can also jump onto the website and purchase the paper from the website and download it to your device. So that's a benefit too, because if you had an advert inside the paper or a story inside the paper, it's not only the people who bought it physically that could have access. The people who download it remotely where they are also have access to your information. And to do with social media and online as well, is a lot of our readers, a majority of our readers get access to us via their mobile devices. And a mobile device is anything which is less than 7 inches diagonal screen. So a lot of people would be coming to us, logging in via their phones. Okay, so that's the end of the official presentation. So if I'll take any questions at this time. Anybody wants to ask me a question? Hello there. Anybody have any questions? Stop here.
Wonderful presentation. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, I was asking if there are any questions I think some people have maybe dropped off. No?
We are back again. We are back
Oh, you're
again.
back. Okay.
Yes, we do have some challenges with the internet and streaming this evening, but yes, you came across loud and clear, Garfield.
Okay,
There's
thank
a
you very
lot
much.
to learn. There's a lot to learn in that. And Garfield will be contactable. We'll get him on BCI All Access for any advice and or services that you may need from the Voice newspaper. Garfield, were you able to complete your presentation? I'm not sure whether we got cut off there.
Yes, I did, and I was trying to go through so that if anybody had any questions, because many times the questions are kind of more important because it kind of brings out exactly what they're trying to do. Yes. But I just try to give a general overview of the marketing bit, the online bit, and roughly what we do at the Voice. Yeah. Absolutely. Because it's like taking 20 minutes to do 10 minutes to do 40 years of stuff. Indeed. And it was interesting to hear as well that that if you have a story, you have a story or you have a testimony or for your business, that you could come to the Voice and say, hey, this is my story, would you be interested in it? And that not all advertising is paid for. I think that is something that a lot of people may well say, yeah, you know what, I'm going to contact the Voice and see if they want to hear my story. So that's great. And yes, as I said before, we're going to get Garfield into BCI All Access, so you can contact him if you're looking to put a advert in the Voice newspaper or to get any further advice on advertising and marketing. Thank you once again, Garfield, for coming on the show. I'm going to hand over to my co-host now, and that is Camilla Barrett. Take it away, Camilla.
Hello, everyone. Hello. Good afternoon, good evening. We are currently experiencing quite a wicked storm here in the UK. So if the signal drops or if you end up getting kicked out of the Zoom, then please do just join back in. I am Camilla. I am BTC UK's club secretary. You may have seen or heard from me, and I am here to introduce and interview Sugartime Organics with Miss Elliot. Anastasia, are you here with us?
Yes, I'm here.
Excellent. So first of all, congratulations on a whole year of business as of the 8th of February. I know there have been quite a few businesses that have popped up during the COVID lockdown. So what made you start during that time?
It was more an issue of security. Typically, persons just come by my home to shop. But with COVID, then we had a whole lot of issue of not wanting to have too many people come by the house. And so having a storefront in town was a perfect response, a perfect solution, to that issue. Yes.
Okay. Lovely. So I am to understand that your business is uniquely created health and wellness products. Could you elaborate on that for me, please?
Yes. So from local agriculture produce, we create a number of brands. We call them lines. We have a hair care line. Our hair care line comprises of the typical shampoos and conditioners, leave-in conditioners, but we also have a styling line. So you can get like a styling gel or styling custard, which we prefer to use on a child's hair, for instance. You can get like hair mousse within that realm as well. We have just already introduced a line for mixed hair, we call it. So one of my sisters, her father is white, so her hair is very different to mine, for instance. So we have a line to look after the needs of her hair, or hair like hers. We also have what is our high performance skincare line, and this is called Marapa. Marapa takes you from cleansers all the way up to like a vitamin C serum, for instance. So you get all those more high-end ingredients like the niacinamide and all of those within that realm. We also have a baby care line which takes care of your little ones and your pregnant mommies. And then we have our food line, vegan food line. So that's where you get all the sauces, the jams and jellies, the vegan wines, and that kind of thing. And everything is made from food resource locally, whether from our garden or from organic farms. Because we are uniquely situated on lands that were formerly sugarcane lands, but also on what is a natural agriculture belt. So we are close to, I think, 4 or 5 organic farms within walking distance. So it's we're in a really good spot.
Very lucky, yes, definitely.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so out of the 4 lines that you create and supply,
Mhm.
from the condiments and sauces, the cleansers, the men's hair care, the bath and body, the baby line, do you have a favorite line?
The one I like to work on most is our hair care. Our hair care, no, my skincare line I like to work on most because I get to be more creative there. Our hair care is kind of limited because you don't need to do specific things when it comes to the hair, but for your skin, because you're dealing with persons with acne, hyperpigmentation, oily skin, combination skin, then I get to be a bit more creative with that realm of products. Yeah.
I can also see that you've got quite a few social networks. You've got Instagram and Facebook also for each line.
Yeah.
How has social media advertising supported your business in its growth? Has it helped a lot? Do you get a lot of...
Due to COVID, it has. Before we did a lot of in-person pop-up shops to travel quite a bit, and so that sort of pushed the brand more. But now because of COVID, we are stationary. We are forced to. We have to look at other avenues. Everybody is online. We were online before, but now we can push it more. And just be able to reach a wider audience. Like even before, there's so much more people finding the page or coming into and saying, "Oh, I see your stuff on Facebook or I see them on Instagram. I've been to your website." So it's really been really good, to be honest. Yeah.
Okay. Last question, because time is going. Where do you see your company in 5 years? Are you aiming to go international?
We're already there. We already export internationally. I would like to have the products physically in a bigger country, whether it's the UK or anywhere else. Just because of the high cost of shipping from here, because it's very expensive to ship from my location. And so I think being able to have them hosted on the ground would be a big game changer for us.
Okay. So that's the next step for you, to have wholesalers in.
Yes.
Okay. Well, BCI are here to support you along the way. Thank you very much for your time and being interviewed. I am now going to pass over to Mayona Campbell.
Okay. Hi, Mayona.
Good afternoon, good evening, everyone. It has been a nice show going forward. So today I'm going to interview 2 persons. Anastasia, I think your interview would have been completed now with Camille. So I'm going to do Carla. Hi, Carla. Carla from Tropical Cleaners. Do we have Carla on? Am I being heard? Can you hear me, Natasha?
Hi, Mayona, can you hear me?
I'm hearing you, Theo.
Okay. Carla's been delayed, and she said that she'll be back at 2:45. She had an urgent a call to make, so she said she'll be back exactly at 2:45. Can we go to the next one?
Okay. Do I have Paula? Paula Marinci?
Yes, hello. Hi, how are you?
I am well. It's so nice to interview you today on our service providers Zoom meeting. So tell us some more about your product.
Okay, so what I actually wanted to do was to send get you to play a testimonial that I've actually recorded specifically for this. But basically, I'm a home-based travel business owner, and so this is the opportunity that I'll be showcasing today. So on the video that you're gonna be playing, I'll give a bit more details on, you know, how the business opportunity has worked for me. And then from there, if people have any questions, then I can obviously either answer questions today or provide contact details. Does that work for you?
Okay, sure. So go ahead, technical team, with the video that Paula had supplied. Thank you. Okay, just bear with us a little bit. Seems like we're having some technical issues.
Just to be able to go on.
Hello, could I check, was the recording playing? Was the recording playing? Can anyone hear me?
Hearing you clearly, Priscilla, but
Okay,
no, we're not
Can't
hearing.
hear what we're not seeing a recording.
We're not,
Okay.
right.
Okay, one moment, please. I'll try and share again.
Okay.
Do you see in the screen?
For now, it is blank.
Gray screen.
Gray, yeah.
The screen is black?
Gray. Yes,
Okay.
it's blank. There's nothing coming up.
Okay. One moment, please. Can you see the screen?
Yes, now. Yeah.
Yes, we're
Okay,
seeing
about
it.
about to play.
Hello, everyone. My name is Paula Morsi, and today I'm here to tell you a little bit about what I do. So, as an occupation, I work as a pediatric nurse, and I really, really enjoy it, looking after the children, the families, and everything that it entails. In the last 4.5 years, I came across an opportunity which combined my love for helping people, my passion for travel, in one opportunity. So it was a no-brainer for me. So I started my journey to financial freedom, and I've stayed with the opportunity for so many other reasons. So I'm just going to tell you a little bit more about my journey over the last 4.5 years. I've had so many different experiences where I've not only been able to travel the world to make an extra income, but I've also been able to travel differently, you know, from traveling once to twice a year to being able to take 6 to 7 trips a year. I've been able to go on team trips where I have basically ready-made travel buddies without having to wait on others, family and friends, just to be able to go on a trip to have some company. And on these trips, we've had our fair share of what we like to call edutainment. I'm gonna tell you some examples of some of the trips that I've been able to take. Particularly my favorite trips, really. What the trips have been able to do for me and for us as a collective is help us to improve our knowledge from a client base for being able to better sell to our customers the product, and by allowing us to experience travel, whether it's on a cruise ship, whether it's on a yacht, from the client perspective. So, being able to then give personal recommendations to our customers on what could work best for their travel needs. So my favorite trips so far, out of all the several trips that we've been able to take, I mean, we've been to Berlin, we've been to Gibraltar, we've been to Portugal, among other destinations, Malta, which is absolutely beautiful, breathtaking island. My highlights have been staying on a 5-star yacht hotel resort in Gibraltar, and being able to experience the yacht, having, the ocean as my backdrop. However, my most favorite experience to date has to be a cruise on Royal Caribbean's largest fleet in 2019, sailing from Fort Lauderdale, going to several destinations such as St. Kitts and Nevis, Nassau, Bahamas, Puerto Rico, among other destinations, and being able to see those beautiful territories, and at the same time having the cruise ship as our classroom, able to learn about all the amenities, be able to try out the different drinks, know about, the different drink packages offered, and basically it's like a 5-star resort on water. And as I like to describe it, every day you basically wake up in a different destination, you know, so what's not to love, you know? So that has absolutely been my favorite trip to date. So as well as traveling more, seeing the world, I've been able to meet so many different people, like-minded individuals, who have been able to enhance my life, and hopefully in the future, you know, we will continue to obviously be able to collaborate with each other in our quest to, you know, helping others to gain the financial freedoms, the time freedoms, and the personal freedoms that, you know, we all are looking for. You know, I know that one of those freedoms generally resonates with everyone. You know, you may be short of time, you know, and would like to release some time back to yourself so that you can do some of the things you actually love. You know, personally, being able to have more time to, you know, do some of the hobbies that you want to love to do, you know, and, you know, to generally just make your life better, you know, is, you know, the goal really. So as well as financial freedom, you know, people are looking, you know, it's really been, as I would say in my own words, a tricky last 2 years. Howsoever, you know, we have hope, and, you know, we all realize, I believe, that you do need to not depend on one source of income, and you need to have a plan B. So I'm looking forward to, in future, taking more cruises, being able to go on more trips, you know, trip loading for March 2022 as we speak, to Lisbon in Portugal. So I'm looking forward to that, and sort of traveling with some of my well-established travel buddies. So as well as being able to do all of that, I've been able to also personally develop myself. I can definitely say that the person that I am today is not the person who I was when I started 4.5 years ago. So this is what I mean when I talk about, you know, starting the opportunity for one reason, but staying in the opportunity for a lot of other different reasons, you know, being able to develop myself personally, as well as helping, you know, to find that inner coaching skill to help others as well, has been also one of, you know, my highlights of my last 4.5 years. Now, for those people who, most of you would fall into that category or don't know me very well, I don't usually have a very long attention span. So anything that keeps me captivated for this long, you know, is something that, you know, I'm truly, truly passionate about. So, basically, I just wanted to give you guys a bit of a flavor about how this opportunity has able to so far change my life. I'm looking forward to, you know, being able to help others to develop themselves through this opportunity, to help them also live an above average lifestyle, which is what, you know, the opportunity is designed to do. So just to wrap it up, I've been able to travel the world, see so many different places, meet a lot of new different people, personally develop myself, and help many others along this journey as well. So if any of these things that I've said today in regards to freedom, and being able to just develop and further just get yourself to the next level, and you feel that it resonates with you, you know, I would be more than happy to get on a personal Zoom call with yourself, and show you exactly what we have to offer through this opportunity, and to be able to answer any specific questions that you might have, to see whether this opportunity is gonna be a good fit for you. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for listening. I could talk and talk and talk about this opportunity because I'm so excited about where I've been able to go so far through this opportunity, and where I'm going to be in the next, you know, few years through this opportunity. So I'm looking forward to speaking to as many of you as would be interested. Please do put any questions that you may have in the chat box, or personally I will be also leaving my personal contact details, so that, you know, you can contact me further about this opportunity. So don't want to go over my time. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much again, and I look forward to chatting with some of you, and maybe even traveling the world with some of you. So until then, bye.
Wow, that was a great presentation, Paula. We saw your enthusiasm. We saw everything about what you have been doing. Now, can you go ahead, Paula? You're hearing me, Paula?
Yes, I can hear you.
Can you go ahead and share your contact information with us, please? You can type it in the chat, or you can go ahead and say it.
Okay, I'll say it and then I'll type it in the chat after. Does
Okay,
that work?
perfect.
So you can find me on Instagram as Caribbean Princess P, or my email is plmorency@gmail.com. And you can also find me on Facebook as Paula Morency. So I'll put my contact details on there, so that anybody who does want to contact me can. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Paula. And as you had stated in your video, that you travel with like-minded persons. And that's what we do here in Blessed Community. We are like-minded persons in helping you to develop your business strategy, and also for you to succeed in whatever it is you're doing. So we do welcome you, and we hope that you will become a member with us, because we would love to travel the world with you, I'm sure.
No problem.
Okay. Do we have any questions for Paula? Any of our participants want to ask Paula any question? Although your video did say everything clearly.
That's good. Good to know.
No questions?
Just to add, Mayona, that you can find Paula in happening for in BCI All Access, and her contact details, you can chat to her there, and you can reach her in BCI All Access as well. Her profile should be built out enough to be able to tell you a little bit about all of what she does, and you can ask her questions and reach out to her in bcallAccess.org.
Right, thank you so much, Priscilla.
Thank you both.
And thank you, Paula, for sharing your experience with us.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. All right, so do I have Carla online now? Theo, do I have Carla on?
No, she doesn't seem to be here. But what we'll do with Carla is we will ask her to do a recording for us, and we will include it in the final version of what goes out to YouTube.
Awesome.
Absolutely. I know she had to leave and she had very tight time constraints. So while she was here, she had to go. Ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of our show. Once again, our last Service Providers in Business to Succeed show was back in December. This was in February. I would like to thank all of the hosts, my co-hosts, Camilla Barrett, Mayona Campbell, coming in from different parts of the world to help me out. I'd like to thank Garfield from Jamaican Heritage Books, also representing The Voice. Invaluable information, Garfield. You know, it's just something that everybody needs to be aware of, and that may well have to be a repeated session that we have with you on a one-to-one perhaps course that we need to run for all our small businesses. Certainly needs to be information that we have to share out more, particularly for those industries that want to go international, and for those businesses that are already international, like Anastasia, who already also does orders to the UK and wants somebody on the ground right here to be able to distribute from. So all of this information, sharing information, knowing where you want to be 2 years, 3 years, 6 months, a year from now is really important for direction, really important for aspiring, really important for knowing where you want to be in life and how you're going to achieve it. Here at BCI, we have several emphases, several topics. One of those are entrepreneur development, and that's what we did here tonight. We were showing you what it takes to develop as an entrepreneur. But if you wanted to go into any other of the other emphases, it could be anything from social and events to spiritual encouragement, to education, to family. Some people want to build homes. We have access to funding. We have access to training courses. There is so much that we can do here on this platform to help one another. So it's just a question of reaching out and being willing to help somebody else along the way. That's why we look for like-minded people. We have come to the end of the show once again. So we'd just like to say thank you, and thank you. That's the end of our show. Take care, everybody, and take care of each other. Remain in bciallaccess.org to find out what's going on, and be safe.